Alright, hope everyone's doing wonderful today. Today we got in store something a little bit different. I bought myself a small little soldering kit online. This is like an electronic dice. It's probably about the similar size to a dice, probably a little bit bigger. It's like a cube, and I think you shake it. There's a little sensor inside that tells it when you shake it. When you shake it, you set it down, and the LEDs, there's 6 of them, and it can just show from 1 to 6, so it's kind of like mimicking a dice roll. I just thought it'd be a fun little project. I could use it playing cards or games like that. That would just be really cool, and I got it. I did do a review on the soldering kit in the background. Pretty cool little kit if you're interested in that. Check out the video. It's like an x-tronic 3060 Pro. Nice little kit. This will be the first time that I'm actually really using it. In the demo video of me kind of unboxing it and trying it out, I did use it on like an old remote control, and I did just like solder and unsolder one connection twice. But this will be a good test. I've never made anything like this. Should be a lot of fun. I think it's like printed circuit boards and a couple of resistors and transistors and maybe like a microchip or something like that. And let's just have some fun and put it together. I ordered this from a company called I got it from eBay. But it's from robotshop.com. I'm by no way sponsoring them or anything like that, but I just thought it'd be really cool and a fun little thing. It was like 15 bucks or something like that. Maybe like 18 with shipping. And I do believe you do need one of these 3-volt batteries. So I do have one of these like kind of watch batteries. So I have this to the side ready and waiting because I don't believe this comes with it, and that would be a bummer to make it and not be able to use it. So if you buy any of these kits or anything, just make sure you check if they need batteries. So let's go ahead and open it up. Got the opening knife. There could be some personal information on the inside of this, so let me just pull it to the side for a second. And the camera, I'm not sure if I'm going to be moving it around a bit during this video, just because, yeah, we'll just kind of see how it goes. But I hope you're all doing wonderful today as well. There we go, got my little packing slip right there. Let's just see how it comes packed. Oh wow, it's an actual kind of like on-the-shelf kit. I thought it would just be like in a plastic baggie, but it looks like it has some sort of a plastic container, and it was packed in like just paper, which is good. I'd rather see paper packaging than plastic packaging. And yeah, let's just open this up. It says the shaking dice. What is this? MK150 from robotshop.com. Vielman for makers. I don't know. It's a level 1 kit, so hopefully we'll be able to do this quite easily. It does look like there's little screws there. I'm going to grab a screwdriver in a moment. Let me just open this up. Let's just check out what's inside of here. Oh wow, you don't have to cut it open or anything. Very cool, kind of similar to how I expected it. Got a small little baggie of all of the components, it looks like. The battery holder, obviously for the battery, so we're set with that. Doesn't look like it comes with a battery. Got the little PCB board. I bet you split it in half. Small little Vielman for Maker sticker, kind of cool. Slap it on whatever you'd like. And I believe the instruction manual. Let's see what it looks like. Alright, so there's 9 steps to it, and we'll kind of go through it. Start, resistors, kind of tells you a little bit about soldering. Okay, let's see. Got capacitors, the IC socket, the battery, the switch. Tells you how to bend it, tells you how to solder it. Bend and insert. It's capacitors. Got the LEDs. Got the cathode, the anode, I believe. And then just kind of the final assembly. We'll kind of get more into this. This might be a little bit of a longer video. I've never really done anything like this before. I just thought it'd be really fun and might as well learn something new. Cool little skill. Let's just check out kind of these utensils in here. All the components. Very nice. So what is this? This little piece of foam. This is like the computer right here, I think, which the logic or whatever that processes it. What is this? Small little bit here. Maybe the logic, whatever, slots into there. I'm kind of guessing. Got these little spacers that go between the boards themselves. Looks like, I believe you should have 6 LEDs. It looks like for whatever reason I have 5 of these. Oh wait, yeah, 5 of these spacers. I'm not sure what these are. Some interesting capacitors, no, or like resistors. This looks like a capacitor. I could be saying things completely wrong, so yeah. What is this, a transistor? No idea. Hopefully everything is easy to figure out. I think it will. I don't know why this one is by itself. Is this one different than these ones? Did it fall off? I know that there's different lines. The lines on these like resistors tell you a little bit about it. I don't know much about it, but it looks like This random lone one does look a bit different. Does look like there's a darker line. So yeah, we'll just kind of have some fun with it. And I believe I have 6 LEDs here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm not sure why there's 7. Maybe just an extra and some screws and then the battery holder. So not too many components. Should be a lot of fun. Let me just grab a screwdriver and then we'll kind of dive into this and have some fun. Alright, and I'm back, I believe, with all the proper tools. Got my screwdriver. Looks like I needed a flathead. Little flathead screws right here. And then little wire cutters. I believe you want to trim these off, otherwise you're going to have these crazy long wires kind of sticking through here, and not what you want. Yeah, very long. So you need the wire cutters after you solder it. And I figured out that this is a switch. There's a little metal ball in here. Maybe you can hear it jiggle. And I guess this is the sensor that when you shake it, the metal ball makes like a contact probably at either end, letting the device know to roll the dice. So let's just go ahead and first of all, let's power up the unit itself. Turn it on, got the nice little light. Pretty cool little unit too. I'm going to turn it down to like 660, I don't know. 660. Alright, and it's already at temperature. That thing is super sweet. And these are the PCB boards. I believe they split down the center, so let's just go ahead, break them in half, because it is turned into like a nice little cube. It is like maybe like 1.5 inches or something like that, by 1.5 inches. And then the instructions, let's just kind of go through it. I was reading them a minute. Looks like the first part, they want you to start with the resistors. So all the resistors are these looking things. And you got this one here. And I don't think it matters which way you put the resistor in. If you put it like this way or you switch it that way, I believe it's the same. And it says R1 to R7 is the 560. So the first 7 are going to be these. And then it says R8 is the other one. So it tells you the color of the stripes as well. It says brown, black, green. And that's what this one is. It's brown, black, and green. And the first 3 are green, blue, and brown. Let's look at these if you can see it. Green, blue, and brown. And like this one, like I said, brown, black, and green. Brown, black, and green. So the color coding definitely does help. And if we look at one of the PCB boards itself, it has like R1, R2, R3, R4, R5, R6, R7, and then this one has like R8, so that's how you know which ones. It says R1 to 7 is going to be these ones. R8, which is on this board right here, is going to be the other one. So let's go ahead and start putting on the capacitors. And yeah, let's just kind of go with it. Also, I'm going to look at this picture right here. Looks like the capacitors are on top of the unit itself, and it looks like this is the unit facing upward, the plate like this. So I'm going to feed in the capacitors and we'll start to solder it. Alright, let's see if I can get the camera at a good angle. And yeah, let's just go at it. Take this one, this is the 8th one. Let's move all these pieces to the side right now. And just go at it. Definitely have taped on the sides. Take off all these capacitors, all the tape. There we go. And let's just feed them in. This is my first time ever doing something like this. So let's start. Let's do R1. Got R1 right here. Let's get these bending. There you go. R1 is in place, and I saw a little tip. You bend the solder prongs in like a V, because then it holds the piece in there. You don't have to worry about the piece falling out if they were straight. Like if it was straight, it would just kind of slip out. But if you put it in there and you bend them out in like a V direction, it'll hold them in place. And what you want to do, you want to solder it to the kind of copper contacts right there. So that's what we're going to do. We are going to start to solder. I'm going to just do one at a time and yeah, see how it goes. Let's see. Maybe put the camera like this, move this here, and let's just use the helping hands. Super awesome that this unit comes with them. And whenever you're dealing with solder or anything like that, these are very high temperatures, so just be careful. You can totally burn yourself, and yeah, just be super careful. Let's just zoom in a bit. get the focus. Let's see. Get the light on it. Very cool. And then just grab myself a little length of solder. Take off the little sticker here. Definitely feel the heat from this thing, so just be careful. Just cut the solder. Doop. There we go. And then let's just go at it. Let's heat up the spot and then touch it to it. Then let's heat up the spot again. Then touch it to it. Alright, that looks like one of the connections is done. And again, it's probably hot for a minute, so just be careful. But if you can see, if it decides to focus, get it to zoom out a bit. Let's get it to zoom out a bit. They are soldered on there. It's not going anywhere. You got the little resistor just hanging in place, so seems like a sturdy connection to me. Now what I want to do, I'm going to trim these little wires. Let's go find those pliers. And let's trim these. There we go. Got one of the resistors on there. Got 8 more resistors to go. Alright, cool. So maybe I'll speed up this part, maybe I won't. We'll just see. Let's move these parts aside. They almost look like solder, these little bits. Let's not confuse it with the actual solder. And this is like a 0.06 millimeter solder. Is that what it is? No, 0.6 millimeter solder. It is a lead-free solder just because I don't really want to mess with lead. So let's go ahead, let's put in all of the other ones. Let's just kind of put in multiples at once. Let's go to R2. Very cool. Got R2 right here. Got the R2 one in place. There we go. Let's put in R3. Here we go. The R3 one, slip it into place. And again, I want to bend them out in like a sort of a V shape to hold them in place. I'm just doing this for now. Let's do R4. Here we go. I got the R4 one. And let's just bend this one into place. Hopefully this is all catching on camera pretty well. R4. Got the R5. Let's go to R5. Alright. Just want to make sure they line up real nice. Got the R5 one. And then the R6. Put in the R6. Very nice. R6. And then we're going to solder these like all in one go. And then the R7, and then we'll have all of the little resistors in place. Hopefully I'm using the correct terminology. There we go. Alright. Got all of them in place. They're kind of snug in there. Then let's go ahead and solder these. We'll solder them, and then after we solder them, we'll give them a little trim. Alrighty. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and use the helping hands again. Super awesome. Grab my little length of solder. Let's zoom in a bit. Let's get it to focus if it can. Come on, camera. I really want this to focus. Alright, and then let's just go ahead and solder some. Again, let's just do one at a time. Heat it up. Touch the solder to it. There we go. A little bit of extra solder on the tip. Let's go ahead and clean it off. I'm not getting a good angle on that one. Let's tip this upwards a little bit. Helping hand let go. Okay, let's do this other one. Definitely some fine detail work for sure. Almost need a thinner tip on here. You get better grip on this little piece of solder. Okay, got a couple. Let's just keep going. Need another little length of solder. And just be mindful, it's very hot. There you go, got a little length of solder again. And we're just going down the line. Okay, that looks like we have all of the pieces soldered on there. Let's just do a quick little once over, zoom out a bit, zoom out the camera. Let's get a nice little look at it. It looks like all of the pieces are on there. The soldering job is okay. Definitely want to heat up some of these other areas. Let's get the solder a little bit. There we go. Let's really cover them wires. It's looking decent. Let me just touch a few more little dots of solder on here. It's very hot in here. It's a warm day today. And this is heating me up a bit. Alright, it's looking pretty good. Alright, let's get a final look at it. Looks like all the pieces are on here. This is what the other side looks like. All of the resistors are on there. They seem to be in place. Let's just double check. Both of the connections are secure. Nothing looks like it's crossed. And I'm going to go ahead and trim the wires now. Let's go ahead and bend them upwards and just clean some house. Let's see. Again, just trim. Boop. Real easy to trim these, just let them fall. And be mindful, there could be some residual heat, but these are small wires, so they cool down pretty quickly. Little tiny bits. Very nice. This one joint right here, I just want to heat it up one more time, actually add a little bit more solder. I just feel like it needs a touch more solder. Just the littlest bit. Okay, there we go. Clean off this. Use the wet sponge. You can hear the water kind of sizzle. Alright, looking good. Just heat it up. There we go, I'm liking that a lot better. I'm actually going to turn this up to 710. I'm liking the higher temperature a little bit more. Alrighty, now let's clean up house a little bit. Let's sweep aside all these little pieces. That was the first batch of resistors. We only have one resistor left, and that is the other one that they had loose in there, the different color one, the brown, the black, and the green one, and that one goes in the R8 spot. So if we look on this board right here, the R8 spot is right here. So what we're going to do, we're going to kind of pre-bend this into shape just a little bit. We're going to slide it in the little holes, and then again we're going to bend them outwards in a little V formation like that. I'm going to take the helping hands here, have it grab it real nicely. I'm going to smooth this little pile of wires. I'm going to grab, let's see, yeah, very reflective into the camera lens that way. Just trying to mess with the different lighting. Okay, and I'm going to grab a little length of solder. Let's go ahead and boop, cut the solder. Let's zoom in here, and let's get this other transistor or resistor. Very nice. Liking that. Super easy. Super clean. Nice and connected. That was the last little resistor. Let's go ahead and cut off the excess wires. And then we're going to move on to step 2. Alrighty. Alright, and then we got all the resistors done. Step 2, got the capacitors. And I believe the only capacitor in here, or I believe it's this one. And it's the C. So we're going to look for C1, 100, and F. I believe that's this one. It's got a very small little number on it. Can barely even read it. But I believe that is it, and we're looking for the spot C1. And the C1 spot right there. So we're going to go ahead and put it into place. Let's just see one sec. Let's just double check. Yep, looks like there's just one of them. So we're going to take this part. I guess this is, they say, a capacitor. Interesting how they package it like this. Let's go ahead and try to remove it from here. Here we go. I don't really like that. Let's just go ahead. There we go, finally. Got the little capacitor, the little blue thing. Let's slip it into the C1 spot. And again, let's bend them out in like a V type of fashion. There we go. The little blue thing is in place. And then let's hold this with the helping hands. And then we will solder it. Okay. looking good. Got the little capacitor in there. Very nice. Little solders on the back. Let's bend them up and let's trim them off. Okay. Little snip. Little snip. Very cool. And now, let's go back to the instructions. We're on to step 3, the IC socket. Watch, what is this? Watch the position of the notch. So, there's a little notch on it, which is this unit right here. And the notch, let's see if we can find the notch. Let's see if we can zoom this out a bit. The notch is, you can see, there's a little notch on this side. This is a flat side over here. There's a little indent in the middle right there. So this is the notch. This one has like 8 pins on it. Little tiny pins. And this one's pretty easy to line up. They say watch for the notch. And you want the notch, I believe, facing inwards to the blue part. Watch for the notch. Okay. Yeah, it looks like the notch is the part facing inwards. And if you can see on the board itself, there's a little notch right there. There's like a little white half moon, half circle that you line up perfectly. So what we're going to do, I'm going to line this up. Hopefully it stays into place. I might have to take a little piece of tape to that. Oh cool, I have a little piece of tape here. Take a little piece of tape. I don't know if this is the best kind of tape for that, but it'll have to do. Let's just get it to hold itself into place. Alright, and if you can see, the tape is holding it up. You have all of the 8 little pins sticking out there. So now what we're going to do, we're going to take the little clamps and we're going to solder those pins. So let's just do it one at a time. Get it going. It's very fine detail work for sure. Let's clean off the tip a bit. Wow, it's some very tiny stuff. Okay, I believe it is all connected. Let's get a better look at it. Very nice, doesn't look like anything. Looks like everything is soldered on there. Doesn't look like anything's misconnected. Let's go ahead and remove the tape from it. And this little bit, it is now on there. Very cool. So now we have the little bit on there. Let's go ahead and zoom out the camera a bit. And let's check out the next part. What do we got? The light. For part 4, the battery. Obviously, when you're going to solder, don't have the battery in here. And let's go ahead and let's put in the battery part. This should be pretty easy to line up. This is the circuit board that holds the battery. Obviously, the big circle right there. And this is the battery part right here. Which way does this go? Okay, obviously you just line up the wires. You got an extruding wire at the end here and one at the top. And they just kind of line on up. This one I'm probably going to use another piece of tape to hold it into place. So, I'm going to hold this into place with a piece of tape. So let's just tape that on there. Here we go, the tape. Okay. Okay. So we have the little piece of tape on there. The little wires are poking through. So that means we're in business. Let's go ahead and let's let's attach it. Zoom in a bit. I'm very new at soldering, so I'm sure my technique is still something to be desired. But you gotta start somewhere. There we go, looks pretty decent. And it's clean off the tip. I'm really liking this soldering iron though. Using the wet little sponge, like the little light, like the LED. There is some heat, there is some warmth to this. Nothing discomforting, but you do feel a little bit of warmth. Okay, let's remove the little helping hands. On there pretty good. I'm actually going to heat up this little bit right here. Just get the solder to settle down a little bit. Why is this not heating up? Okay. If I can heat this up. All right. Very cool. So let's go ahead and remove the tape from this. And now we have the battery holder. Very cool. It's coming together. Alright, let's move on to the next step in just a second. Alright, and now we're on to the next step. We just finished putting in the battery. And then the battery holder, let's put in the switch. Alright, it says bend, then solder. Huh, they want you to bend it and solder it. That's a little confusing to me. I'm not sure if they want you to actually solder it to itself. Oh. That's a shame. This little bit totally just broke. I'm going to have to solder it on. So hopefully that's what they mean. Anyway. That's terrible. I can't believe it just broke. Take these helping hands. Let's hold this part right here. And let's solder it together. Okay. Let's just throw some solder on here. And then let's attach this to it. It's going to be very hard to get this on there. I cannot get this thing to hold still. These helping hands are not meant for such little pieces. Let's get it to grab it. Hopefully it doesn't bend it or anything. Alright. Actually, I'm going to take a longer wire, some of the excess from the other parts. Let's solder this on. Okay. I hope that this thing still works. I still hear the ball moving around in there. So I really hope it does. It really doesn't look good. I'd be ashamed if this thing broke. And then the switch is right here. You got the switch. You can see the switch. Let's just line it up. Let's place it in there. Okay. Bend these wires a bit. Okay, got the little switch. And then let's solder the switch on there. I'm a little bummed about that switch though. I can't believe it just like fell. It says to bend it and you bend it and it just broke. That's a shame. If it doesn't work, I'm definitely gonna have to get a refund. Alrighty. We have those pieces on there. Hopefully the switch is good. It looks a little funky. There's extra solder on the side. Alright, we'll just have to see. We will have to see. I'm going to go ahead and trim these little bits. Let's trim the bits. Trim. You can hear the ball shaking around in there now a lot more. So yeah, that is the switch, the little metal ball moving around, contacts in there. Alright, let's do the next section right now. We're on the capacitor. Alright, so that goes into the C spot, and that is this right here. In the C spot, the C2 spot is this circle spot right here. I don't believe that there is a specific way you put it in, but there probably is, since there is a longer wire. Let's see, the longer wire is the positive wire. Very cool. Okay, the longer wire is the positive wire. So longer wire is the positive wire. Let's go ahead and put that into the hole that says positive on it. You can get it to show up. So a plus sign right here. Let's go ahead and slip in the positive part, and then the opposite part is the negative part, and then let's just go ahead and let's solder this into place. The helping hands are very helpful, super helpful. All right, here we go. Clean off this bit. Come on, come on. All right. And that is the connections on there. I just want to get a little closer look. Get this to focus a bit. And they're on there, so let's go ahead, do some trimming. Let's trim off the little excess bits. A little bit of trimming. Boop. Boop. Then we got the capacitor on there. Very cool. This bottom board looks complete. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of house cleaning. And then the last part, I believe, is the LEDs. We got 7 of them. Watch for polarity, so pay attention. So again, like the capacitor, one of the legs is a bit longer than the others. And one of them is the longer leg, I believe. Let's see, the picture looks like the longer leg goes into the open place. The white little line, I think, is the shorter leg, The cathode goes in there, and the longer leg goes in this space here. So let's see. I believe the longer leg goes in this hole right here, and the shorter leg I believe goes in this little space right here. So let's just go ahead and let's feed these in. And obviously, just put them in the LED. Get to focus a bit. Got the little LED there. Then we're gonna bend these similar to everything in like a little V shape. Alrighty, and then got one of these. I'm gonna go ahead and put in the rest of them, and then we'll solder them all at once. Again, the longer one goes in the open space. The longer one, yep. Alrighty, longer one goes in the open space, and again, this is gonna be in like the shape of a dice, if that makes sense. This should be shape of a dice. Let's see. Alrighty. This should all work if that switch decides to work. The longer one there. Very cool, super easy. It's coming along. Put them all in there, the longer one in there. Just kind of doing this part off camera. Feed it in, very easy. Hopefully my camera is focusing well. I did just order a new camera today as well, so that should be coming. And I'm a bit excited about that too. Okay, so I have all of the LEDs in there. It looks like a dice. You got 7 of them. I thought there was only 6, but I guess even if you roll 1, the middle one lights up. Very cool. So let's just go ahead and let's solder all of these pieces. Yeah, let's just go ahead. Just do it. Let's just do it. Okay. Nice little length of solder. And we're off to the races. Let's get this going. Got the little light here. Get nice and close to it. Got one of them. Let's do this one here. Alright, I'm going to trim those ones just to clean up some wires. Alrighty, I soldered a couple of them right now. Definitely don't want any of these wires to touch. And if there's any touching, that's not good. So let's trim these. Little trim. Ooh. Let's make sure that these are not touching. Alrighty, what other ones? I did this one. Oop, flying across the room. Always have safety goggles on. There we go. Get this one here. Just trimming everything. Very nice. And then we got, what do we got, like 4 left? We got 4 left. Alright, back to the grind. Grab myself another length of solder. Let's go ahead and cut it. And then let's just solder it. Alright, let's clean up these wires. Let's go ahead and trim them just to make some room. Man, there's gonna be little wires I feel in my room now. Okay. And then once I trim this last one, we got 2 more LEDs to solder, and then we're on to the next part. I'm just checking these connections to make sure that there's none touching each other. It looks good. Let's go ahead and use the helping hands again. And then let's solder more. Helping hand is not helping right now. It's about to drop it. Hold on a little bit tighter for me. Alright, it's looking pretty good. Let's see. Alright, clean this off. Let's inspect it a little bit. Looking good. Let's do the trimming. And then I think that's it. Okay. Little wires everywhere. I'll just heat up this little bit right here. Alright, so we have all the LEDs in place now. Just bend them a little bit to make them look straight up and down. This thing is coming together. It really is. Alrighty. And then I think that was the last component. The last couple things we can do. The last component. Little wires all over the floor. Alrighty. And I know you plug in this little like logic unit into it, which we will as well. And then we screw it together, and I believe that's it. Alright, let's go to the next phase. Alrighty, let's just clean up this a bit. I don't think we need any more soldering. I'm just going to have this here for the light. I'm going to turn this down just because I don't need it really hot anymore. I'm aware of. All the way down to 190, whatever it can go to. We have this little logic unit here. The notch, I believe, lines up as well. If you can see, let's just take this out. There is a slight little notch. The little notch facing this way, at the very edge right here. If I can get it to focus, such small little stuff. You can see a slight little notch there. Well, at least I hope you can. And if you remember, there was the notch facing this way, so I believe this unit just plugs in. You just plug it in, hopefully, and it goes in real friendly, I hope. Let's just see. There we go. It just plugs in there. Very cool. Then the last thing we got to do is let's see. Put this unit together. Very strange. Is there a connection from the bottom circuit board to the top, or are these acting like wires? I believe those are acting like wires. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put in the battery just because it'll be hard to put it in once we put it together. Had the little battery, brand new, facing downwards. Let's just slide it in. Boop, got the battery in. The unit should have power now. Got the little thing there. And what we want to do, let's go ahead and let's take these legs, put in a little screw, screw in one of the legs, put in a screw, put on the leg. I do have a flat head, which I will use to tighten it up a little bit. At the very end, got this. And I think this is just always on. I do not think that there is a switch for on and off. Maybe there's no power when it's not rolling the dice or something. Maybe it's not using power. I don't know. Maybe the battery doesn't last very long. I don't know. It's more of just a fun DIY project. Come on now. Oh man, I do not. You can see right here, since the switch had a little bit of a problem, it's actually making contact on the side right there. So I need to trim that a bit. I don't think I want it to contact that. Just take this, trim it just a little bit, and that shot like a rocket. Okay, much better. So it won't short circuit or anything. I do not believe that is touching. I really hope it's not. If it is, I can just move it a little bit. And then we have one more leg. For whatever reason, the side has multiple legs. Okay. Don't think that this is touching. I don't think it is. Okay. Okay, and then let's put on the top. Oh, did you see that? Looks like something happened. I think it should work. Oh no. It should work if I do this. Would you look at that? And then what if you roll it? Okay, let's just connect this and let's just see what happens. Got these little screws here, but we do see lights, so that means something is good. Just placing all these screws. So I guess these side posts here are actually like wires that connect it from the top to the bottom, which is pretty cool. Pretty fun little circuit board. A little bummed that the switch might be broken, but it seems like there's lights going on, so that is good. Alright, where is that screwdriver that I had got? I have no idea why it's blinking like crazy. Hopefully once we tighten these down it will kind of stop having a little fit. Wow, the screwdriver is a little magnetic. Okay. Very good. Let's just tighten the connections on the other side too. Don't want this to have a problem. Tighten these from the bottom. Oh, it looks like it's working. Okay, so let's just give it a test. Give it a shake. You set it down. Super cool. Okay, let's just see. This project is finally complete. Awesome. I'm gonna turn off the soldering iron. Anyways, just want to do a final little recap. A lot of fun to make this kit. I've never really made anything like this. I've never really practiced my soldering so much in my life before. This was probably the most intensive soldering project I've ever worked on. It is like a level 1, but it still took me about probably like a half hour or something like that. And I did have a little bit of technical difficulties, but I don't think it was my fault. When installing the little switch, just bending the lead downward, because you have to put in the board anyway, it snapped one off. So that's more of just like a manufacturing error, just kind of a cheap quality switch, but everything else is great. The boards themselves, easy to read, everything is labeled, came with everything you needed. For whatever reason, I do have one extra screw, but no extra components or anything like that. Pretty much all you need to make this is the kit itself, a soldering iron, just like a little wire trimmer, and just like a little flathead screwdriver, super easy to put together. And it's just a fun little fake dice that mimics the rolling of a dice in an electronic format. It's got 7 LEDs. You pick it up, give it a little jiggle, you set it down, and it rolls for you, so you can use it to roll for turn or anything like that. Just like a fun little addition. The switch is super sensitive, and sometimes it kind of just keeps rolling. It keeps mimicking or keeps thinking that it's being shaken or something like that, just because I think the switch is either really sensitive or a little bit broken. But it's just a cool thing, and it's super sensitive. Like if I just touch the ground, it wants to roll it. But yeah, just a lot of fun to make this. I hope you all enjoy this type of video, something different, something fun, something new. Hope you learned something. Hope it makes you want to try something like this. And yeah, just have some fun with it. And I hope you're all staying safe. Hope you're all doing wonderful. Hope you're all spending time with your loved ones and friends. And I just want to say, keep on keeping on, stay positive, and I'll catch you all in the next one.